Here this morning in Rhode Island at the Bago facility with Dr. Dean Mersky, the founder of Upton, and with Steven Touchie with Dental Wings, and they're here to talk about a strategic alliance that they have made between these two companies. But first, Dean, why don't you tell us what Upton is and how it is positioned to help small laboratories?
It's very interesting how it all came about, because what we originally started off with was a marketing group that also had purchasing power, and it has evolved itself into its own being, if you will, of a community of like-minded people with the same objectives and the same concerns and same goals. And frankly, it's a powerhouse of small laboratory owners.
We were introduced to Upton about a month and a half ago, and I've recently joined Dental Wings myself. Having been a small lab owner, I recently sold my lab and had a lab that was focused on digital dentistry and using CAD/CAM technology. Having joined Dental Wings recently, much of my responsibility is to be able to help spread the word of what Dental Wings is about, and to create some momentum for us here in North America in particular. And I was always interested in the small lab part of our business, and coming from a small lab as an owner, I was very intrigued by what Upton was all about. And it didn't take long once Dr. Mersky and I got together and discussed how we could join forces and find the way to help lab owners go digital with the least amount of risk possible and the greatest chance for success. And I believe that we are in the process of creating a way of doing things that is going to achieve those goals. And we are here today with our first group of lab owners who have adopted Dental Wings technology, but more importantly, believe in the Upton vision, which is to help each other navigate through this digital revolution that they're all facing. And we are very much looking forward to continuing that relationship with Upton and small lab owners.
When we started, we had a very simple goal in mind, and that was to aggregate small laboratory owners into a single entity that could be marketed under one brand, so that they could help grow their businesses under that brand, and then, as I mentioned a moment ago, have some purchasing power that is normally reserved for larger labs. And these are two things that small lab owners really don't get to experience. A national brand presence and purchasing power is not something they normally get to participate in. Oddly enough, and you said the word community yourself, and surprising to me, is that once the small laboratory members began to interact, they began to feel how much they had in common, and a presence amongst themselves that had been something they'd never experienced before, and maybe might be missing from a lot of people's lives in our industry. This feeling of camaraderie, this feeling of likeness, and that might have been fostered by, at least in the beginning, by an internet group that they themselves operate. It's a private internet. Only our members have access to it. It's unedited. They can say and do whatever they want. If I make a misstep, they can call me out on it. And I think one of the unique aspects of this that perhaps is going to be quite foreign to people in the corporate world is that there are basically two parts to Upton. There's an Upton management, which is what I operate under, and then there's the Upton Laboratory Cooperative, which really belongs to the members. I don't own a cooperative. That's their entity. They make their own decisions. They participate to whatever level they want to participate. They can make it the strongest, biggest organization in the dental industry, or they can allow it to be whatever else they might want it to be. It really is their opportunity. A lab has to walk through the door and make it what it's going to be.
How does the laboratory become an opt-in member?
It's real simple. They go to the website and they go to the membership page and they agree to the terms, which basically says you want to be a member. And then you enter your credit card information and there's monthly dues. Where there's no long-term agreements, we don't tie people up, there's no obligations, everything is transparent.
So Steve, as you look at opt-in and the smaller lab owner that it's bringing to the front of the industry, what other activities do you have planned for the future?
We definitely want to focus on education and creating education opportunities for these lab owners. We understand that CAD/CAM is just a part of the skill set that they need, of the tools that they need to operate a successful lab and to compete against the bigger labs out there and overseas labs. So we're really excited about working with Opt-in to creating educational opportunities to help lab owners, the small guys in particular, to transition from being technicians and artisans, which they are, but also into business people, and finding ways to support them with that. And I think the real exciting thing about Opt-in is the community aspect of it. And for those individuals and labs to be able to share amongst themselves their success stories, their failures, and to encourage themselves throughout this learning curve that they're going to have integrating CAD/CAM into their operations, which is a very disruptive technology, and it's very different, and it can be difficult and intimidating. And I think this is the opportunity that small lab owners have been waiting for. A community, a group that get together, support each other through this process that they need to go through. So a lot of it's going to have to evolve around education opportunities that we're going to create together and deliver to the lab membership of Opt-in.
Yes, that's how Steve and I really connected on so many other levels other than just a product. In today's world, there's a lot of product push. We're not interested in pushing product, we're interested in helping growth. And as an important partner with Dental Wings, that's where we connect. And I think if there's anything that separates us as two companies working together in our strategic partnership in this marketplace, it's our ability to think in terms of a forward momentum to help that small laboratory reach a higher level of efficiency in their business model. And so we're about growth, while a lot of other associations or whatever you might call them are looking for discounts. Discounts are nice, but nobody ever grows from a discount. Discounts are not a sustainable business model, and that's what we want to help our members with.